Welcome back to the Single Malt Review. We may not be able to go anywhere, but you can always go on a whiskey journey, travel the world through spiritus liquors.
There you go.
We've got quite a spirited ride once again. Tim, what are we trying today?
Well, we've got another one of my siege whiskies coming up, and so do you, from the wee sample bottle I was able to get out. This one is another one from Cadenheads. Still a threat on the channel, as ever. Right, Mingus, you are now completely in the way. Oh, there we go. The amount of things Mingus has to knock off today is disturbingly high, so I'm going to have to watch this cat. So this is, in fact, a Cadenhead small batch, so not a single cask, but a batch of casks, and it is, once again, Ledaig. Quite possibly our MVP distillery here on the Single Malt Review. It's the distillery that is always waiting with another independent release, and seems incapable of disappointing. It really is becoming something of a phenomenon between us. So let's crack into this one. I suppose the vital statistics on the bottle. It is 11 years old. It is a batch of 3 hogsheads, and it is 54.0% ABV, which we'll assume is their sort of net strength. But the curious thing here, the weird thing is, they, out of the 3 hogsheads, they have got 336 bottles, which is what I would expect for like 1.5 hogsheads maybe. So one of those, or possibly all of them together, were total shocking leakers. So I can quite understand why they bottled this one before the whiskey just vanished out of existence. Goodness knows what was wrong with them.
A 9-year-old liquid in our previous episode also came from a single hogshead.
Yeah.
Granted, it was younger by 2 full years, but that produced 275 bottles out of a single hogshead.
Practically got the same amount of whiskey out of it. Yeah, absurd. Maybe over at Ledaig, good at making whiskey, awful at making nailing barrels together. Who knows? So here we are.
What case definitely Palate ran this time as well. I guess maybe there's some. I tried to find details of what those hogsheads were. So, but obviously I came up short.
I'm going to say that it's a pretty safe bet that those were bourbon. If there was any sherry in there, and there yet may be, it was heavily used. So we're talking third fill, I'd say, given the colour of this one. I'd say I don't think there's really anything first fill in here, judging by how pale it really presents, but I could be wrong. But yeah, fairly confident that it's we're dealing with bourbon here, one way or the other. So, on the nose,
yeah.
Oh, it's Ledaig. Like I say, we're really beginning to get to know this one around here. It's really a hell of a whiskey, and it's so close to being an Islay, and yet just that little bit further away. And the way that it's different, to me at least, is it's got one thing that it has and one thing that it hasn't, and that's the only way I can tell the shigs apart sometimes. Sometimes it's got the smoky bacon of Caol without the overwhelming dominant citrus of Caol. So it's like it's a very, very similar analogue to Caol for me, coming from 2 different angles, but never meeting in the middle, because I've never had a Ledaig that's not had that smoky barbecue on it, that has had a dominance of citrus.
Ledaig, as a recap, comes out of Tobermory's distillery on the Isle of Malt.
Yes, good info. We should have mentioned that up front. It is their heavily peated expression from the Isle of Malt, the sole distillery there, Tobermory, quietly doing good work for many, many years now. You know, the really weird thing is, we've tried what now? This might be at least the 4th Ledaig we've tried on the channel. Have we ever touched Tobermory? I don't think we have.
Not
knowingly, no. Boy, poor old Tobermory, overshadowed by their peated expression. I'd love to know what the over-under is on their production, whether Ledaig is now, as it's dominating our channel, is it dominating their production, or is the unpeated still sort of going out there, because, boy, you don't see it around anymore. Anyway, on the nose at full strength, it's Not too rough at all, and like I say, it's very, very typically Ledaig. It is a bit of savoury barbecue. It's incredible amounts of maritime notes. If I was to pick one whiskey as the flagship of maritime, I know some people like to say, oh, it's Oban or Pulteney or something. No way. That's Asperger's. This one right here, this one is like sea spray directly into the face. It is so, so salty.
There's a lot of minerality there too. It's making me think of flint and granite.
Yeah, super flinty. It's a very geological nose. And super clean as well. This one is, we've had a lot more, as savoury as it is, I think this is a lot lighter of a style of Ledaig than we've encountered in the past. This one is, it's less fishy than they could be. It is very, very mineral.
It's wonderfully elemental on my nose. It's making me think of, say, cold ocean waves crashing on driftwood on a beach.
Yeah.
There's kinds of imagery which comes to mind when I think where it's from. Not ever been.
Just a little bit of rain hitting a hot asphalt pavement as well. Which is petrichor. Whether petrichor is actually a thing or not, I think it's a common name for something that does actually exist. But it is a recognizable smell. I should put the bottle back there. There we are. Anyway, so yeah, it's a poised kind of a nose. It's poised. It's precise, and it's fairly gentle. It's accurate. So on the palate, full strength.
Precisely 54%. I'm going to try it at the extreme.
And it's not without a bit of harshness, but I think it can be enjoyed at full strength. I'm not sure if it's optimal. We'll find that out, but yeah, it's
not delicate. It waves of citrus and tonic water. And then those minerals crash in, and then the peat starts to build. It just grows in kind of a crescendo of peatiness and wafts away in smoke.
At 11 years old, which is actually for Ledaig, that's fairly old. I think most Ledaigs we've encountered have been sub 10. The that 17-year-old one we tried at Drownfest it might be the oldest. It might be the oldest Ledaig I've ever tried, I think. It wasn't outrageous in any particular way, but yeah, I think the oldest I tried before that was a 14 I tried actually in Scotland. But yeah, not a whiskey that gets particularly old, and not a whiskey that needs to. If anything, it's demonstrated just how good young peated whiskies can be, and this one is no exception, though comparatively old though it may be. I'm going to put a bit of water in because it's, like I say, lovely good winter warmer at full strength, but we might learn a wee bit more with this splash.
Peated cask strength whiskey would be so drinkable just straight out of the barrel like this one is.
Peat's an interesting equaliser. Yeah, at this younger age, the peat is sort of enmeshed with every aspect of the spirit. It hasn't even, this peat won't be starting to deplete until at least 18 years old, 20 years old, who knows. It really just is, it's inseparable from the other flavours. And peat, it's almost like you can never get too much. No matter how strong a whiskey is, the alcohol might get too strong, but the peat never will. You can have a supernova, you can have an Octomore straight at its full, whatever Octomore's up to now, 60 whatever %, and you can say, wow, this whiskey is too strong alcoholically, but the peat just sort of changes. It just turns into a different kind of a thing. There's no such thing as a peat overload, not a bad one anyway. It just seems it gets more and more interesting.
Little lid on the ass lets you go out of a good the real fume of peat vapours there, then just get a whole snootful in one go. Bit of an affectation perhaps, but it is, I guess, just a fun way to get all the vapours all at once.
No, it saves on spilling, I suppose. So, I'd say, yes, you can enjoy this at full strength. This is definitely better. It's lost nothing, but it's gained so much fruit and so much sort of sweet barley, which I wasn't expecting at all. The sugar is normally such a dry whiskey. And the citrus is amazing. This is one of the ones which doesn't have so much barbecue, but does have the citrus.
Yeah. It's giving me lots of fresh lemon juice notes. What's coming to mind is imagine a fresh serve of fish and chips, good salty chips and nice oily crumbed fish, and just squeeze a lemon.
That's a good one actually. Yeah, a sort of a English style fish and chips does have all of these aspects: the salt, the lemon, the oiliness.
Yeah.
I'm not getting fish per se. That's it's too clean of a whiskey for this. I'm going to even give it more water just to see what happens.
More of an Isla thing is slightly fishy, but there's just a hint of these little oil, a bit of even maybe veggie oil, just something slightly smoky.
Wow.
Too. So
there's a profound fog on that one after adding as much as I did. We're probably if actually a little bit below 40% now with my one. Geez, look how that one. That's just disgusting. Looks like there's something wrong with that. Yeah, that's woof. Very, very cloudy. So, even better. This just drinks the water up. The more I put in, the fruitier and the more mineral it gets. Now it's almost trying to emulate Bowmore. The peat is like a really sooty, kind of last night's fireplace kind of a smell. Very, very carbonaceous, sooty, almost bituminous, which is one of the more out there tasting notes. That's tar for people that don't have to work with it. I don't recommend it. Oof, yeah, that's
what do Cadenheads have on their tasting notes?
Oh yeah.
Quite colourful description.
Completely forgot their tasting notes. So on the nose they have soft smoke. Agree at full strength. Do not agree with water. It isn't anything but soft once we've put this much in. Sea salt, definitely. Orange marmalade on toast. I would be going more lemon, but citrus, certainly citrus.
Yeah.
Palate is more smoke, yeah, obviously. White chocolate.
See?
I don't know about white chocolate. I don't know about chocolate at all, but hey. Takes different palates differently. And plums.
No, they're coming from what that. I took a sip just then and I actually looked for white chocolate and I can see how they get that.
Are we getting, are there any plums here? I think there's sort of like plum skins, maybe, like the tannic aspect of plums.
Maybe some really sharp plums, maybe some green gauge or something. Very tart, I thought.
And the finish is dry smoke, agree. Cinnamon. Maybe a little bit, maybe a hint. And chili flakes, which is, again, interesting because chili pepper, that's Taliska's thing. It's almost like the sugars can be a real chameleon, as it has to us many times, fool you into thinking it's any number of Isla, or in Taliska's case, Sky whiskey.
Yeah. Well, at its full strength was certainly that growing burn, which came on after the initial first seemingly mild. So it can be like that with any dish that's liberally sprinkled with chili flakes. You take a bite, you think, this is fine, this is cool, this is comfy, and then the chili hits you and it just erupts. And similar experience with the heat and burn.
I think this one, the chili is a bit more, whereas Taliska's chili is very much in the throat. It's more of a chili pepper catch. This one is more, it's more the actual flavour of chili.
The vegetative flavours of a slightly sweet, slightly tart.
Yeah.
Mature.
Actually, one to add to theirs, which does not appear, but I think a raw red capsicum, especially with a bit of water, is. It's been a while since I actually was in the same room as a raw red capsicum. My partner hates them. She cannot stand the capsicum, but there's something about that. Yeah, something about their nose. Anyway, it's as Ledaig's innumerable have proven to be, versatile and pretty damned excellent in terms of a young peated whiskey. And again, Cadenhead's still on the absolute just the warpath with prices. This was that's the reason I end up with so many Cadenheads, is because I can afford them, because they downright savagely undercut so many of their competitors, and it works as regards to my commerce anyway. Because why would I pay more when I could pay less for stunners like this one? And yeah, Lefroy, geez, it took me this long. I was doing so well. Ledaig, again, like the whiskey that cannot be beat. Presumably, in the grand scheme of quantum possibility, there must be a bad Ledaig out there, but damned if we've found it yet. I don't think we've never encountered Ledaig that came even close to disappointing. They've always, it's a whiskey overachiever, I suppose. It just cannot seem to make a mistake. So the scores, I think, will be fairly representative of that. It's for me, this is a 90. It is just a really, really good example. It doesn't go off the reservation in any particular way. We're still yet to try, say, a sherry matured Ledaig or whatever that does. So it may have sacrificed getting any further into the 90s there by taking any risks, but nothing wrong with playing it straight. And this one, straight to 90 points for me. What do you think?
I'm going a little higher, up to 92 for this one. It just pushes what comes to think of as Ledaig's standard of excellence, just slightly further. It goes a little bit beyond the others we've tried before. In that modest 11-year-old age, the extra couple of years over others we've typically tried, that just elevates things further, and it pushes the boat out a little further. It takes a few risks and brings a lot more to the table without redefining what the Ledaig is. It's just like the same, but even better with a few new twists thrown in.
Yeah, it is remarkable stuff, and that like a remarkable score too. To get two 90s and above back to back. There's no other two whiskies I'd prefer to be shut in with for a month. So I did very well on my quick foray out before the lights went off. So very, very pleased with that.
Safe well, yeah.
Yeah,
well, lucky that our postal service, indeed, some of our whiskey deliverers are still.
Yeah, they're still moving, albeit slowly. So we're not completely cut off.
There are.
Yeah, we may be able to sort of get something in, and I may be able to get another couple of things out to you, and possibly vice versa. With that, we could do a letterbox exchange with that Craigellachie, because I'd be very interested in. Oh wait, it's Glenelg, isn't it? Got me again. Got me again. One day, jolly two distilleries. If Billy Walker could just buy Craigellachie, then that would be less embarrassing. Anyway.
Courier services and stuff when they've been going in the face of adversity. So
yeah, well, good on them. Yeah, I think obviously medical staff, beside doing their best out there, police, but the real I think unsung heroes of this whole thing are going to be couriers and otherwise delivery people. And right alongside them, checkout operators are the ones that really deserve a medal after this one, because talk about the front lines. Our supermarkets are still open and will remain open, but if there was ever a tricky job to do when everyone else was shut up, that would be the one. Just doing nothing but exposing yourself to randos off the street as well. It must be deeply unsettling. So yeah, hats off to all the checkout operators out there. Never have they had a harder job to do. So anyway. I hope everybody is staying safe out there. Please share your stories of siege whiskies in the comments. See how you're keeping up.
The general term coming up is quarantini. It's not a cocktail. It's just absolutely anything you are choosing to drink while you're in isolation. It could be your morning coffee. It could be water. It could be exotic whiskey. Your drinking choice basically is your quarantini. And please share your tales.
Sure. Yeah. I'd love a quarantini, but I'm out of gin. Never mind. See if I can scratch one up from somewhere. It's going to be a long month. So, you know, at least we have this, myself and Cyber Dave, to keep you company in the long winter, or indeed, in most people's cases, summer of discontent that stretches before us. So, all the best. We will be back around with something new and hot, and I will have a fondle around the archives for some stuff that hasn't gone up yet, so we can go back in time to the previous worlds.
In 19, still to grace the internet. In the meantime, yeah, look after yourselves, look after each other. We'll be back soon with more rounds.
Alrighty. Slandra, and we will sign off.